In the hospital, a woman died right in front of her husband's eyes. The boy hurried to delight his mom with a bright installation but didn't make it. 7 years passed. The father and son are fishing. Saichara's phone rings, and at that moment he catches a big fish he's been waiting for so long. At home, Saichiko, once again, raises the question of why his father never remarried. The man is already too old, it seems. Apparently, his subordinate hasn't been happy with her boss for a long time. Now she bitterly informs the man that she's getting married, but he doesn't care. In the evening, our hero meets with his friend Yoshikawa, who works in the film industry. The men wonder where all the good girls have gone. Saichara confesses that he's finally ready for the next marriage, but he doesn't want to resort to a matchmaking service. His chosen one should have a good education, and it would be nice if she played the piano like his late wife. He would like to have the opportunity to see many women and choose the best one. Suddenly, he realizes that Yoshikawa might arrange something similar. A romantic movie will be filmed at the film studio. The heroines are between 20 and 30 years old. The screen tests can be combined with a contest of brides for Saichara. 196 girls are applying for the role. They are all attractive, well-educated girls. A housemaid helps the Aoyama family with housekeeping. Each girl applying for the role filled out a questionnaire and attached a photo. Saichara received them all and now studies them carefully. His wife's photo embarrasses him, and he turns the frame away. Yoshikawa calls him and suggests selecting 30 candidates from 200. He has so much work ahead of him that he even has to skip dinner. The embarrassed Saichiko announces that he's not alone tonight, but with a girl. The widower accidentally spills coffee on one application and immediately fixates on a photo of a certain Asami Yamazaki. The girl has been doing classical ballet since she was 12 but got injured and is now trying her hand at acting. Saichiko entertains the girl with stories about dinosaurs. The girl meets Mr. Aoyama and apologizes for eating his dinner. Saichara is about to walk the dog and evaluates his son's choice as excellent. The day of screen tests arrives. One young girl enters the spacious hall after another. They are embarrassed. They have to answer candid questions. Some girls demonstrate additional talents, and some even their bodies. They are all very different. The widower eagerly awaits the girl number 28. During the break, Saichara confesses that he doesn't feel well and leaves the hall. The excited man immediately spots Asami. The auditions continue. One girl shows her breasts, another bursts into tears, and finally, Asami Yamazaki enters. For some time, the girl worked at the Ice Records video company with producer Shibata. Asami is modest and not aiming for a rich life. She also works part-time at a bar. For the first time in all this time, Saichara takes the floor, praising her. He tells his friend that he was nervous all the time because of her. He can say that he chose her even before the auditions, but in person, he liked her even more, and Yoshikawa didn't like her, but he can't explain the reasons. During lunch, the young man asks his father to choose a bride more attractive than their housemaid. Gathering courage, Saichara dares to call the girl he likes. He directly suggests meeting and talking. Asami doesn't refuse. The man is extremely happy about her agreement. Yoshikawa immediately calls him. It turns out that producer Shibata no longer works at Ice Records. He disappeared about a year ago. On their date, Saichara immediately asks the girl about producer Shibata, to which she replies that she lied during the auditions. She's not even acquainted with him. She was just advised, so to speak. Asami behaves very modestly and enjoys the beautifully presented food. To Saichara's delight, the girl herself asks about the next date. That's definitely her, the widower confidently declares to Yoshikawa, but he asks his friend not to rush. It's strange that such a smart beauty was happy with a chance acquaintance, especially since Yoshikawa couldn't find anyone who knew her. Saichara trusts his feelings. This woman is his dream. Still, his friend asks him not to call her yet. She sits motionless on the floor next to a Tide bag and a phone. The housemaid praises Saichara. After his wife's death, he worked a lot and opened a company to provide for his son. She clearly wouldn't mind having such a husband. The employee came to the boss to say she's leaving. It was another reason to talk to him again. It's already evening. Saichara really wants to call, but the girl, hunched over, fell asleep by the phone. The man couldn't resist and called, and Asami's lips twisted into a predatory smile. She woke up, and the bag rolled over. On the second date, the modest girl admitted that she was very worried that Saichara wouldn't call again. The man asks Asami about her parents and the bar where she works. The place is called Stone Fish, but it's better for the man not to go there because the owner wouldn't like it. The couple stayed up late. On the next date, she tells him that she loves looking in the mirror and can endure a lot. The pain was caused by a leg injury. She complains that she lives alone and has no one to talk to. She's grateful to Saechara for trying to comfort and understand her unlike other suitors. At the end of the date, the man promised to call. Returning home, Saechara decided to have a heart-to-heart talk with the young paleontologist. From his father's good mood, Saichiko understood that he had started dating someone. However, the girl is only 24 years old, and they plan to spend the weekend together. Then the man will propose to her. They relax at a hotel by the sea. Saechara is nervous and wonders what to do until dinner, but Asami has already decided. Without saying a word, she turned off the light and began undressing. Fairly quickly undressed, the girl lay on the bed and invited her escort, but first she suggested he look at her body. She has 2 deep scars on her thigh from burns. Showing her body completely, Asami, with tears in her eyes, asks Saechara to promise that he will love only her and no one else. The man agrees and lies down beside her. Saechara wakes up in bed alone with a headache. He is called from the reception and told that his girlfriend left. Since then, he hasn't been able to find Asami. He doesn't even know where she lives, and the girl no longer answers the phone. Yoshikawa gives him friendly advice to forget about this strange girl. Saechara is offended that he doesn't want to help him find her and leaves. The man carefully reads through the resumes for any clues and finds one Mr. Vinny Shimada's ballet studio. At the studio, he finds an old building with boarded-up doors. Removing the boards, Saechara sneaks inside. There, some old man in a wheelchair is playing the piano. In the drawer next to him, metal rods are heating up. Apparently, this is Mr. Shimada. Hearing the name Asami Yamazaki, the old man asks him to leave, but Saechara doesn't give up. The madman chuckled and asked if he had seen her, if he had touched her body. It turns out, this sick old man burned Asami's thigh when she was little. Shimada gets up on his artificial legs and demands once again to leave him alone. Next, Saechara went to the bar, Stone Fish. The premises are in a dark basement, causing concern. A passerby tells him that this bar has been closed for a year. The bar owner was killed and chopped up, and interestingly, when the police put the body back together, they found 3 extra fingers, 1 ear, and a tongue. The housemaid fed the dog and left. After that, someone broke into the house and began searching through all the rooms. Evening came. Saichiko left a message for his father that he would be staying overnight at a friend's and that he couldn't find their dog. Saechara poured himself a drink and pondered. He suddenly began to feel drowsy, and his limbs went numb. Suddenly, he fell on his back. We return back to the cafe where the second date took place. Asami tells that her parents divorced when she was 7 and sent her to live with her uncle. His wife mocked her and beat her. They forced her to bathe in ice water, almost causing her death. After that, Asami returned home. Her mother remarried, and her stepfather had sick legs, and he hated her. She did nothing all day and lay on the floor in the room with the phone. The story continued in another cafe. According to her, ballet helped her distract from her miserable life. Sitting at the next table is the man's deceased wife with their son and Misuzu. She didn't approve of her husband's choice. We moved to Asami's empty room. She pounced on Saechara, unzipped his pants, and then a co-worker appeared in her place. She accuses the boss of sleeping with her once and that she had been waiting for more from him all this time. Just a moment later, and Misuzu was already at the zipper, in her school uniform. The man tried to run away and stumbled over the bag. Out of it emerged a dirty, hairy man missing 3 fingers on his hand, without legs, an ear, and a tongue. He smelled incredibly bad. At this time, Asami tore into the dog's bowl. The cripple lunged for the bowl and greedily slurped from it. Asami transformed into a little girl. The legless old man headed towards her. He wants to hurt his student again. Adult Asami allowed the old man to burn her thigh. That's how it was when she couldn't retaliate against him. But now she's back with a metal wire and slowly wraps it around her tormentor's neck. The instrument cuts through flesh and bone. She tightens the wire to the limit. In a few moments, the head is already on the floor. Finally, we find ourselves back at Saechara Aoyama's house. In the gap, he sees his dog, with its neck twisted. Businesslike Asami, in a leather apron and gloves, is preparing for an operation. She tells the man that his body is paralyzed, but it still feels pain. The girl leans over her admirer and injects something into his tongue. Then, the girl spreads a blanket, rolls Saechara onto it, and cuts his clothes. She reproaches all men in his face who audition girls, rejecting many and calling back only to make love. Asami begins her entertainment. One by one, she drives long needles into the body of paralyzed Saechara. The girl deliberately chooses the most painful points. Asami sits right on the needles protruding from his abdomen. Saechara was missing needles on his face, and his chosen one will fix that now. She thrusts needles around his eyes. Recently, his son called, and Asami promises that it will hurt him too. The girl reminds him that Saechara promised to love only her, but he has many people, while she only has him. She believes that without legs, he definitely won't go anywhere. Asami begins her favorite procedure. During the process, she couldn't contain her smile. Quickly reaching the bone, Asami sobbed through it. One leg is amputated. Next, the girl is ready to proceed to the second. Halfway through the process, Saichiko returned home. The guy was stunned to see his father. From behind, Asami crept up to him, and Saechara woke up. It was just a very scary dream, and Asami, after their first night, lies next to him. Saechara was especially relieved to see his legs. The man tries to come to his senses after the nightmare. Asami is frightened. Morning came. The girl is very happy. She didn't know she would be so lucky when she sent her resume. Finally, Saechara can calmly fall asleep to wake up in reality, where Asami is chasing his son. Trapped on the second floor, the boy kicked the killer in the stomach, and falling from a height, she twisted her neck. Saechara crawled out and made sure his tormentor was dead. While his son called an ambulance, Saechara started glitching. Asami says she waited a long time for his call, and she really wanted to see him again.